Last week's race at Oulton Park was, well, chaotic. Tight confines led to more than a fair share of interesting moments. Now, with the standings sufficiently shaken up, let's throw some more chaos out there as we've come to the land down under for Kamel GT at the mountain. And we'll find out all of that as soon as we get ready to watch round 8 of the iRacing Kamel GT series. And you're going to see it all live right here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We've got the Adam and Adam show for you today, as we've got myself, Adam Young, and alongside me is the one and only Adam Lindgren. Behind the scenes is our director, Amjad Yaman, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Mount Panorama is known as one of the more difficult tracks in all of motorsports. In a few short hours, the real-life Bathurst 12 Hours kicks off. And if you've been following that, from the kangaroos to the huge shunts, you already know the difficulty. But if not, let's get you familiar with Bathurst with today's track guide.
Welcome to Mount Panorama Circuit. Most drivers simply refer to this place as Bathurst, with it being located just to the southwest of the city's major hub. But most ominously, and perhaps appropriately, it's been nicknamed the Mountain. With more than 500 feet of elevation change over the course of a lap, it's easy to understand why. Though originally built for racing, it's become a street circuit over time, with the track itself used for regular traffic and featuring residential housing all along the roads. This makes this 4-mile, 23-turn course incredibly unique in the world of racing. In the past, the track has hosted a variety of types of cars, including open-wheelers. But modern safety standards means that most competitive racing has now been limited to sports cars and touring cars. However, the dangers are very real due to the incredibly high speeds and lack of runoff throughout much of the circuit. The quickest parts are the run up the mountain straight towards Griffin's Bend, and then the flat-out blast back down the Conrad Straight and into the chase. This chicane was added in the late 80s to break up the run down to Murray's Corner. But while most chicanes are derided for ruining the character of a track, the terrifying speed as you approach it and the general difficulty make it fit right in with Bathurst challenges. However, the toughest portions are undoubtedly along the mountain itself, with notorious corners like the Cutting, Brock Skyline, the Dipper, and Forest Elbow. In fact, one of the more unique worries of this course is that all of these parts are so narrow that track blockages due to wrecks are not uncommon in the first few laps. The Australian fans often line the fences and hillsides to witness the daredevil spectacle of drivers trying to claim King of the Mountain. You can't blame them with how rare of a sight a track like Bathurst is today.
And that is a little bit of what Bathurst has to offer here today. Adam, I know you've got a little bit of experience here and in this car. Go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the facility.
Yeah, definitely, Adam. If you've never raced Bathurst, well, honestly, you're missing out on one of the most difficult, rewarding circuits on the iRacing service. This 4-mile or 6.2-kilometer racetrack features 23 turns and 571 feet of elevation change over the course of a lap. The notorious Audi push today will be a grave challenge as the GTOs fight the 4-wheel drivetrain to turn into the many sharp corners on the mountain going up and down, and the Nissans will struggle with throttle application on the many uneven corner exits today. Multi-class wise, it's inadvisable to pass going up or down the mountain. The best places to pass are the 3 straights and McPhillamy Park. Everywhere else, you can expect to get doored into the concrete by an unhappy competitor, and that's in the best case scenario. Adam, this place has created some cracking races in the past. How are our point standings looking going into it?
Well, we mentioned last time out at Oulton Park, and when plenty of multi-class mix-up happened, well, kind of mixed things up just a little bit in the point standings. Ardo Iamaki, though, hanging on to that lead, 146 points ahead, 146 points total, 21 points ahead of Antti Lepisto. Fabian Gerber, 59 points back. Nicholas Buchanan, 61 back. Pablo Suarez, 69 back. And Adam, I believe you've got the Audi GTO series.
Yes, I do. Philip Lake is leading those with 131 points, with Yoni Hagner only 11 points behind, and he is tied with Dennis Neidhart, who's also 11 points behind. Then we have Jamie Hall, who is in 4th place, 42 points behind, and Franco Scurry, 44 points behind. So they are very close to one another. We also have another championship, the Milk Zoo Championship. This is for the Italian GTO drivers. Franco Scurri with a commanding lead of 102 points. He would have to miss the rest of the season in order to get caught by Juan Ignacio Giorduccia with 50 points. Then Remigio de Pasqua is behind in third with 38 points, so he could catch Giorduccia by the end of the race. And then we have Marco Sassana and Giulio Forcolin in fifth place, rounding out your Milk Zoo Championship.
All right, and now the race details for today. Now, of course, we are looking at a 40-minute race. This is open setup, and these guys have been practicing hard to try to get ready for this thing. There is no free repair. Now, obviously, that's key because at Bathurst, you don't hit anything soft. So if you are in an accident, chances are it's going to end your day or at least severely impact it. There's a 17 incident limit before you have to take a drive-through penalty and a 25 incident limit before you are DQ'd. And Adam, Bathurst is one of those places that if you're getting that high up on the incident list, chances are you don't have much of a car left.
Yeah, you won't have much of a car left at all. There are not a lot of places you can get off tracks, especially going up and down the mountain. There is a couple places where you can clip the grass here. As we take a look at Antti Lepisto's lap, Arto Iamaki puts in the fastest time at a 149.695. Over here on this portion of the track that we're looking at right now, you could get a couple off tracks here, but a lot of them are into heavy braking zones, so you're in big trouble if you go off track over here.
And Adam, I know you had a chance to at least catch a little bit of the practice as we look at Fabian Gerber now setting a provisional pole at a 49.36. Is there going to be anybody that maybe you're not, maybe kind of a dark horse here today that could try to steal it from guys like Lepisto and Gerber?
Well, we do have a couple of drivers who haven't seen that much. Ernesto Romero, who's in second place right now, he's only half a second off of Phil Lake's lead right now. And Michael Houghton is, as usual, he is a new addition to the Dirty Torque team, and he is doing a surprisingly great job this season on his first season back in the Audi GTO in a long time. So I would expect Michael to be a big surprise here today.
And of course, now he is sitting on the provisional pole for the Audis. Is looking at him coming down now into turn 2 in 2:02.566. That's pretty quick. Right now, we're looking at about a 13-second difference between the Audis and the Nissans, which, in the grand scheme of things, we've seen a bigger gap at certain places here for the season. But once these classes start to tangle here, Adam, I'm expecting there to be a lot of chaos.
Yeah, as we watch Mark and Kraytrick on his second lap, yeah, there's going to be a significant amount of chaos. 13-second difference between classes is a lot, and where the GTPs are making up most of that time is over the top of the hill, but that's also the part of the track that you really can't pass at. The racing line crosses from left to right so many times over the top of the hill that it's really dangerous to try and make a pass. So watch to see GTPs losing a lot of time at the top of the hill, and that's where we could see a lot of position changes for them.
Is right there. You saw Fabian Gerber come across the line as he ended up only 0.003 of a second short of the pole at the time held by Arto Iamaki. But as you just saw right there, Antti Lepisto ended up coming across the line. He's back on the provisional pole. Ove Trengerud now, I believe this will be his second time, and that's going to move him to the provisional pole on his second lap for the Audis.
Michael Houghton was just going through the final couple of corners as we watch Reed Miller go through as well. Michael went off track. So Reed Miller right now in 8th. He's going to cross the line. It looks like he's not going to improve. A 2:03.883 will be his time. But Ove Trengerud still holding that provisional pole with Rob Olnick just coming across the line in second place in the GTOs now.
Yeah, Rob Olnick coming down with that 3.91. So he's about 0.03 of a second off. It looks like we're going to have 11 Nissans out there. They've all put in times, and so the most of the field today will be the Audis. Looking at Esco Latinamini coming across. So Wolf Friedrich Hortho now. See what he's able to do. This should be his first time lap. It's a name I don't believe I've heard before. So if he's new to this series, welcome. If not, then I am just wrong, and I'm okay with that. It's not the first time today, that I've probably been wrong. Karen Saxena here looks like he's going into turn. Excuse me. He's coming around here and going to set his first time. Yeah, this okay. So either he was on it, yeah, he was either on an out lap or had something happen there. So there is no time on that lap. And the qualifying should be wrapping up here. There's a few guys out there, and that looks like, yeah, that's right. In the official session, of course, it all resets. Not exactly what we normally see in our normal hosted sessions, but today we an official race. This is an official race on the iRacing service. Well, yeah, we go by those rules. So your grid here for today on the Nissans, I'll just grab all of these here. Antti Lepisto starting on pole, Arto Iamaki in second. In the second row is going to be Fabian Gerber. Kitty Ingstrom will be in row 2. Row 3 is going to go to Martin Krajcik. Fabian Youngbluth in row 3. Row 4, Laurent Olsen and Pablo Suarez. Row 5 is going to go to John Keefe and Roberto Di Filippis. And then starting shotgun as far as the Nissans and Ettore Sintis Galindo, and then we move on to the Audis.
Ove Trangere is going to take pole down there in P12 overall, but P1 for the Audis. Rob Olnick's going to line up outside of him. Philip Lake in third position starting off with Michael Houghton, his teammate, on the outside. Then we have Dennis Neidhart in the fifth position. Nico Avareliomi starting off in sixth with Esko Letaniemi in seventh. Ernesto Romero is going to start off 8th with Reed Miller 9th. Franco Scurry is going to round out your top 10. Then we have Hideki Koivisto, Nenad Ivanovic, Remigio De Pasqua, Alexandro Nocera, Karen Saxana, Juan Ignacio Gorducha, Wolf Dietrich Hotho, and Alexander Veldman rounding out your GTO field for the starting grid.
All right, cars are getting lined up here to begin. The very, very, very short chase lap starts just before the kink going into the chase, and we'll be getting the green flag here before too long. I believe I see everybody out on the grid, so I don't believe we're missing anybody here as we get ready to start the race. The Porsche pace car pulls off. Arto Iamaki is now got charge here along with Antti Lepisto. Antti Lepisto on pole as the Nissans start to round the chase. One of the more interesting corners in all of motorsports. The chase is many times we've seen some passes for the leads there. The Bathurst 12 hours and supercars. And now today, the Kamel GT, the retro machines of the Nissan GTP and the Audi GTO are going to be taking their turn there as they start to work their way around Murray's. Green flag is out. Antti Lepisto takes it, and he is away, heading down into Hell Corner. Arto Iamaki did not get the greatest start. He's going to have to contend with Fabian Gerber. Fabian Gerber looking to move into second. He's going to clear, and let's go on to the Audis.
Ove Trangere got a horrible start. Rob Olnick was able to pass him into the first turn. And so here they are going through Hell's Corner, and they're still side by side in the back of the pack. But Rob Olnick has pulled away to quite a gap. But Michael Houghton has also passed Ove Trangere. So Phil Lake now trying to get past him as well. They're really close in the Audi.
As they start skipping down the mountain straight, the Nissan starting to work their way up the hill. As Antti Lepisto is heading toward the cutting here for the first time, and now up, Kitty Ingstrom has now taken over second over Fabian Gerber. Arto Iamaki and his bad start, well, he's going to have to slide into fourth as they start trying to work their way up the hill. That'll turn into a drafting battle as they start heading down the Conrad in just a few minutes. Let's go back over to the Audis.
The Audis have gone on the single file because they're heading up the hill. No big dramas here except for the fact that Philip Lake was unable to pass Ove Trangere, and that's allowed Michael Houghton and Rob Olnick to get away with the lead. Michael Houghton only about a quarter of a second behind Rob Olnick as they go through McPhillamy Park. And here we go down, start the winding bit down the hill. This is where the Audis really struggle on pace.
And now, of course, the Nissans coming down to Conrad for the first time. Antti Lepisto already heading to the kink here, and then he'll fly down into the chase. He's got a pretty decent sized lead, as it looks like Arto Iamaki was thinking about trying to make a move on Fabian Gerber. He decides better of it. Second, third, and fourth, and the Nissans are pretty much running nose to tail, as well as fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth in that class. Let's go back over to the Audis as they start heading toward the chase for the first time.
Yeah, Michael Houghton has done a good job of just staying right behind Rob Olenek. He had an opportunity to pass, but decided better of it because he knows that the draft is really effective here. As you can see, Ove Trangrade right on his rear bumper, carrying Phil Lake and Dennis Neidhart as well. It looks like Karen Sexana has gone off, and this is, I believe, a single car incident, but she's pretty banged up.
And also, Juan Horchacha ended up being involved in a single car accident as well. So already some casualties there in the Audis, but I still believe all the Nissans are okay out there. Go recap them is looks like Fabian Gerber is going to be having to try to make a move on Kitty Engstrom while also at the same time having to hold off Arto Iamaki. They're still running pretty close, but I've got to say it looks like in the Nissans at Anti Lepisto that lead may have shrunk just a touch. On your screen, there's Fabian Gerber now, and they're heading down here. Down the hill. That gets so tight going down into the dipper, with especially running in a pack like that with Iamaki, Gerber, and Engstrom down through Forest Elbow there, and now down to Conrad.
The speeds of these GTPs are just impressive as they go over the top of the hill. It's just amazing to see a prototype vehicle racing this track. It's not something we see very often. Look at this draft, though, from Arto Iamaki on Fabian Gerber. This is very, very close. He's thinking about it, but he's going to back off before they hit the chase. That's too dangerous of a spot to pass. Maybe he's going to try and go around the outside?
Wouldn't be the first time I've seen an outside move work there. It just doesn't happen every single day. And he thought about it and decided, not at least not right now. As they're coming around to complete lap 2, start working on lap 3 in this 40-minute race with sub 2-minute laps. We'll probably get, about 21 laps in here today, at least as far as the Nissans are concerned. Maybe 22 if we're really lucky. Nissans are starting to break up. Let's go back and take a look to see how the Audis are going, as they still remain pretty much nose to tail, even going down to Conrad. Rob Olenek still in control over there. Michael Houghton, though, is hounding him, and hounding Houghton is Trangrade and then Philip Lake, as they are still in a pretty big pack at him.
Yeah, and that includes Dennis Neidhart, who's in 5th position. He's fallen off a little bit, but they're still in a big drafting pack, and we might expect to see some passes here as we go down this next straight here. This is going to be interesting because the Audis really punch a big hole in the air, and that can cause problems when you're the lead pack, when you're lead car. Take a look at this. Rob Olenek being caught by Michael Houghton. Is Michael going to try something here?
Well, if he does, he's going to have to go to the outside around Griffin's. This is another place where it happens sometimes. Just doesn't usually work out, and that time it cost Houghton possibly 2nd place. He loses a lot of time trying that move.
Philip Lake actually passed Ove Trangrade right there because Ove was held up by Michael Houghton. So I doubt that was strategy, but those two teammates working well together regardless.
And here maybe Olenek hit the wall. I was just watching him. I don't think he made any real contact there going up through Quarry. But I think he's okay. So let's go back up to the prototypes battle now for P2. Ooh, yeah. Not big contact, but enough to really disrupt it. Arto Iamaki is going to go from 4th to 2nd here. Fabian Gerber and Kitty Engstrom. Don't know if we're able to go back and see what exactly happened there. Yeah, okay, we are GSRC replay machine coming up. Arto Iamaki, he's still running in 4th right here. They're heading toward the kink, going to the chase. Fabian Gerber has a run and just slides wide. And he's like, thank you very much. He will take over 2nd place. And Anthony Lepisto, I think, was actually probably the big winner in that, because I think he gained quite a bit of time over those 3 while they were going around like that. So now Iamaki, Gerber, and Engstrom are running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
And while they're going over the top of the hill, the Audis are back down, crossing the start-finish line, and these top 5 are still nose to tail. Ove Trangrade's losing more positions as Dennis Neidhart's going to look to the inside, going into hell corner, and he's going to be able to get it done. Dennis Neidhart up to the 4th position, but now they get into the big draft battle here on this straight. Rob Olenek in the lead right now over Michael Houghton and Phil Lake, Dennis Neidhart, and Ove Trangrade, and then this goes all the way back. It looks like Ove just lost a lot of time.
Yeah, Ove, I think going through hell, decided that he wanted to go ahead and let Neidhart by. And then, well, then he let Arvalani by on the straightaway. I'm not sure what's going on there. He actually let off the gas to do it.
Yeah,
So
I think
maybe
Ovi must be having an
brewing
issue.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe trouble brewing for Trengerade here. Well, keep an eye on him, as he's definitely one of the bigger names here in the Audis. But that does mean that one car has fallen off that lead pack, still led by Rob Olenek.
Yeah, we've added Nico Arviliomi, who's in the back of that pack now. But yeah, Rob Olenek, since he's taken this lead from Trangerade, he's really started to pull away. Michael Houghton's falling off a little bit from him, but Phil Lake right behind Michael, and then Dennis and Nico following behind those two. So this lead pack is not done yet.
No, they're not. As they head down through Forest and down the nearly 2-kilometer long Conrad Straight. And these guys build up a lot of speed. I always like doing the speed comparisons between the Nissans and the Audis. And, well, I can tell you, Rob Olenek is going right now about 170. I'll be looking at Michael Houghton, who's about 174 is what he topped out there going down the Conrad. The next time we take a look at the Nissans, we'll show you what they're doing there through that section of the track. But no positions changed hands that time down the Conrad, because it looks like we only have one car off the track, and that was Saxana. He has not returned. Something happened to Kitty Ingstrom a little while ago while we were watching the Audis. He's all beat up.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage, and it looks like on multiple sides of the car, mostly left, but a little bit of right as well. So Kitty having some big damage.
It was the last time going through the cutting. It looks like he maybe tried to go a little bit too hard through there. This is where he's coming down the mountain straightaway. He'll hit Griffins. Looks okay. Start to head toward the cutting, and it's just gonna understeer into the wall here.
Ugh.
That's what it was. Okay, he hit the wall first going into the turn. That kind of just disrupted the car, and then it slid out on him again when he was trying to get back going. So he slapped the wall there on that right side twice, on the left side once, and that's not going to help him out hardly at all. As he's still in fourth, but he's going to fall back in the clutch. Clutch is a Kreitschik here. Actually, he's like Kreitschik by. He's going to come down pit road and maybe see about getting some of that fixed, or maybe call it a day, hopefully. But P2 now on the line. Fabian Gerber trying to make a move down the mountain straight, going into Griffins. He's back in, steps out just a little bit. They avoid contact. Heads up by both of them. Now going down into the cutting, though. Okay, so they're going to get back nose to tail here going down into the cutting. Actually, Fabian Gerber had a really good exit of the cutting. Guy was able to get on the gas easily and gets right back up to Arto Iamaki.
Yeah, that was a good move. I was worried Fabian was going to try and take a too wide into the cutting, and that's a dangerous position to be in. You don't want to end your race this early. We're only, we've already completed 10 minutes of this race. It feels like it's been a very short time, but wow, these cars are ripping down the hill.
Yeah, that's usually how races at Bathurst go. It's there's enough usually going on that you don't really feel the time. But I can tell you, though, as Enti Lepisto hits the Conrad Straight, one of the trailing Audis is now on the Conrad Straight. So we're going to be getting into multi-class traffic here probably in the next lap or two. So I'll be looking for that to get mixed up. Going back to that East Audi lead, excuse me, who's that wide? That is Philip Lake. He gets pushed wide. Actually, like the front end lost grip.
Yeah, he was trying to make a pass around the outside through Griffins and just was not working for him. He got out into the gray, out into the marbles, and the car just slid wide. So he lost the position to Dennis Neidhart now. So he's gonna have to make that up. Oh no, Neidhart hits the wall, major contact. This is a big one.
Huge contact for Neidhart. Dennis Neidhart is all tore up. Philip Lake is all tore up. GSRC replay machine here coming up, and got the helicopter view, and it looks like he slapped the inside part of the wall. He gets slung out to the outside. Philip Lake literally had nowhere to go. In fact, we have a chance here to ride along board with Philip Lake. This is just simply how quick things happen here is
Yeah.
he's coming up. Just nowhere to go, Adam.
Yeah, and Adam, I must be the curse for Phil Lake, because every time I'm on a broadcast, Phil has bad luck. And here we are seeing it again. And man, Phil, just nowhere to go. I can also report Fabian Gerber has clipped the wall a little bit and has a little bit of damage. He's actually starting to Fabian, Ardo, and Antti are into the back of the GTO competitive runners at this point, as we're looking at Michael Houghton and Rob Olenek, who are
Oh,
battling for the lead in GTO.
yeah, this is going to get nuts here going through fours. We can go back to it here real quick. Is Arto Iamaki now just trying to cut through that traffic. It got really tight coming down the hill for these guys. Now they should be able to have it. But, oh, Fabian Gerber is going to have to weave in and out as the Audi is running different lines. And it looks like maybe Kitty Engstrom, is he going to get to him before he gets to the kink? Oh, this could get dangerous here. They let him by. That got really interesting there as Kitty Engstrom gets a big run on Fabian Gerber. Yeah, oh, Kitty's now a lap behind. That's right. He got some of that damage repaired, coming out with looks like a brand new machine, but still right back almost to where he was. And he's trying to look to take advantage of that as Fabian Gerber now going to get stuck behind Alexandra Nucera. And he's now Kitty Engstrom will get by him. Arto Iamaki is clear of that first couple. Into Lepisto now also getting clear of Velman. They got a few more vehicles to get through here, but the next batch they'll probably catch going up the hill.
Yeah, the lead of the GTOs is still very close between Michael Houghton has actually gotten around Rob Olenek, so this was a pass for the lead, and I believe it was about half a lap ago, but Rob is now behind Michael Houghton. Michael Houghton putting on a show here today, Adam.
Yeah, Houghton, he showed how strong he was in qualifying, and showing how strong he is in the race too. And you mentioned since he's returned to the series, he's had himself some pretty good races when he's able to get the job done. Of course, he's had a few which is obviously not his fault that things have just happened, but he got a pretty good decent sized run on Robert Olenek coming out of Forest, and Olenek's going to have nothing for him coming down the Conrad.
Yeah, Rob just losing that position is unfortunate. They're coming up on Karen Saxona, who blows the corner again. So they're going to return. Fortunately, they're going to return safely and not cut out in front of Rob and Michael. But yeah, Rob and Michael are going to start to have some traffic approach them soon. And it looks like we have a pass for 6th in the GTPs with Martin Kraytrick and John Keefe.
Yeah,
because Kraytrick has big damage.
Yeah, you'll see if we can figure out what happened to him. He's struggling now. And also, I think he may have gotten into it with one of the Audis right before that.
It was just before McPhillamy Park where he hit the wall.
And actually hit the wall pretty hard. GSRC replay machine coming up. That infamous black wall there in McPhillamy, he caught. And I think it was just before the replay started there, and significant damage on the right side of that Nissan, right on board with him here. And Adam, that's not soft touching right there.
No, he was coming up too quickly on that package on those two GTOs who were battling for position, and he had to get on to the brakes, and that meant that he couldn't turn. So he's into the pits along with one of the Audis. That is Wolf Dietrich Holthe. And Pablo Suarez is slow on the track now too. A bunch of Audis, a bunch of cars having issues.
Oh, and I'm even watching John Keefe right now, who just slid into the tires trying to get around some Audis. It doesn't look like he's hurt too bad, but
and we also just had a pass for 2nd in the GTPs while we're on this replay between Fabian Gerber and Arto Iamaki. Ooh, John Keefe just getting a little loose there around the corner.
Yeah, and just kind of just power drifted almost into the wall there. Not exactly how he wanted to go. Yeah, let's go ahead. It looks like just a pick play there for that pass for P2 in the Nissans.
Ooh, a little bit of a block there from one of the Audis, and that's what allowed Fabian Gerber to get by. But Arto Iamaki's not done with Fabian.
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming right back on him there. Going into the chase, almost chops his nose off there just a little bit. He doesn't want to give up that spot, and I don't blame him. Oh, yeah, Saxana is very, very slow in front of these guys. Everybody's able to negotiate them.
That was a misshift from Saxana. It's very easy to do in the Audi if you're not used to the gearbox.
Who is loving this, though, is still Antti Lepisto. He is now halfway down the mountain straight, it seems like, compared to Fabian Gerber and Arto Iamake. He is setting some pretty good times out there and controlling this race, but now starting to get back up into some of the Audi traffic, so that should make things more interesting as well.
Yeah, and as he's pulling away from Fabian Gerber in second place, Fabian is significantly down on top speed by a good 5 or 10 miles per hour. That may not seem like much, but when you're going at 170, 180 miles an hour down these straights, it's very, very different. So as we're watching them go through, Fabian Gerber's struggling right now on pace with that GTP.
All right, so now we were talking a few minutes ago about the speed difference between the Nissans and the Audis before things decided they wanted to go ahead and try to get exciting on us again. And let's go ahead and pull up that speed difference now. They're heading toward the the Conrad Straight, and see what they can do. I think particularly Arto Iamake and Fabian Gerber here will be good to watch. Maybe get an idea of just how much down on speed he is. And just look at that acceleration. They go from like 90 miles an hour to up to 170 in no time at all. As Iamake is going to make a move here. He's 180 miles an hour. Able to get any more? He's not going to be able to clear him. But that gives you an idea of just the speed difference. About 6 miles an hour and top end speed in the traffic. They're going to have to split it out. And Iamake's in the grass. Doesn't lose a lot of time, but I bet that scared him a lot. That was Ernesto Romero that he was trying to get around.
He's going to need an equipment change after this race.
I think we all know what equipment he's referring to. Is Antti Lepisto? Did something happen to Antti Lepisto? Because all of a sudden they've caught up to him. Oh, he got held up by traffic going down the straight. Coming down the mountain. And I think just had a bad few corners. But they're within sight now of Antti Lepisto, at least when they weren't just a little bit ago.
Yeah, and Adam, that's what I was talking about before the race. If you get caught behind an Audi going over the hill, you can't pass. It's too dangerous. He's about to get caught again. This is Ove Trangrade in third position, who's ahead of Antti Lepisto, and this is going to allow Fabian Gerber and Arto Iamake to close up right behind him because he's stuck in a place where he cannot pass the Audi.
Finds a way, but not before Fabian Gerber is right there underneath his rear wing. They all three clear Ove Trangrade, but that's going to put them nose to tail as they head toward it. Oh, man, this is the dipper now and down the mountain, heading toward Forest. Oh, we could see a play on the lead here, this time down the Conrad.
Definitely, and Fabian Gerber's in the toe of Antti Lepisto, so that aerodynamic damage I was talking about shouldn't be a factor, but we have two Audis to contend with. These are the leaders, Rob Olenek and Michael Houghton. They should be able to get Rob before they get to the cutting, but it's going to be tough.
And they know it. Antti Lepisto now screaming down the Conrad, 84 miles per hour. Oh, no!
Well, that was as close as it gets, folks. Fabian Gerber almost collecting Michael Houghton. That was really close.
Well, when this calms down here in just a minute, we'll go back and take a look at that again. But that was almost the leaders of the Nissans and leaders of the Audis almost all running into trouble right there. That would have been a massive calamity at the chase. Thankfully, they got out of it okay for the most part, but that does break up that battle just a little bit, and Fabian Gerber has fallen well off now the lead. Now, finally, Lepisto and Iamake clear Houghton. They can try to get up the straight, and they've got a good long while before they run into any more traffic. In fact, the next car in line is Alexander Nacero, and he's already halfway down the Conrad, so they got the entire mountain to themselves at this point.
Yeah, and Adam, let's take a look at that replay. This is a moment for Fabian Gerber and Michael Houghton. Everybody involved, I don't think they realized what was going on, but we're going to go on board with Fabian here as he outbrakes himself and has to take to the infield.
Oh, Fabian Gerber's hard into the wall. Fabian Gerber, we could go back live to this here. I think it was Houghton again.
He made contact with Houghton.
Yeah,
he wrecked
tried
the Audi leader. Houghton doesn't have that much damage, but Fabian and Gerber with major damage. We're going to see it live here. Fabian just trying to go to the inside of Houghton. Here we go.
Oh, Fabian's day's done. He cannot get that Nissan going again. Ah, that is...
If we could go on board with Houghton here, he just barely avoids major front end damage, but he's already lost the lead to Rob Olnick because of that incident.
And he does have enough damage on the other side. They have to worry about aero. Thankfully, those Audis are tough, but that is just... I have no words. I mean, that's one where maybe a little bit more patience in both parties could have averted disaster there. And now you got one Nissan, one of the leaders in the Nissans out of the race, and the leader in the Audis, former leader in the Audis, significantly damaged. He's still within sight of Rob Olenek, but he's got some work to do here to try to catch back up.
Yeah, and the trouble with driving a four-wheel drive car is that damage on the right front's going to affect the power being delivered to that wheel.
We need to hold on here just a second. Laurent Olsen just wrecked in the corner that the leaders were going to. Okay, he takes a tow just in time. Sorry, Adam. Thought we might end up having a problem there.
Well, it was definitely a problem for Laust Olsen. Laust is going to come around the corner here, and I believe it's through the cut. I believe it's through this corner here.
Cutting. He was coming out of the cutting, and I'm not sure if he clipped the wall again on entry or however, but he ended up very wide and slid into the wall hard, and the leaders were not too far behind him when he was coming to a stop on the track. And of course, that's blind up there, so you wouldn't know there was a car stopped on track if you were just slightly offline.
And for our viewers, these are not inexperienced drivers driving this track. This is just the challenge of Bathurst. Bathurst is one of those races, one of those tracks that challenges you mentally, it challenges you physically. You're sweating every single lap around this track. You're on the edge of grip all the time. There's barely any time to rest. Even when you're going down these straights, you're thinking about your braking point for these corners here. It's a difficult track to race on, and we're seeing it here with even some of the top drivers making mistakes.
Now looking at your leader, Antti Lepisto, still has Arto Iamaki within shouting distance of him. I mean, it's a little bit over a second as far as the lead, but that's just one slip up or one lap car away from closing right back up. Go back to the Audis here, and they're having to negotiate Fabian Youngluth as far as the leaders. Houghton is still once again within shouting distance of Rob Olenek. He's got some work to do to close the remaining part of that gap.
Yeah, that car, Houghton's car is definitely pulling a little bit crabbing a little bit to the left, but he's making the best of it. Rob Olenek has not been able to pull away from him. So Michael Houghton may be down on top line speed, but he's being able to navigate the...
And so Iamaki's around. Through the cutting. Did he touch anything?
No!
Oh, somehow he didn't touch anything. That's incredible. That plays right into Antti Lepisto's hands. I don't know how you slide like that and end up not touching anything right there, especially with the Nissan being as long as it is.
Well, we see it right here. I mean, it's amazing he didn't touch anything. And also, he's parked in a spot that's really hard to get out of. He manages to three-point turn this thing and get it going again. Man, Antti Lepisto, Arto Iamaki, frankly, that's pretty impressive, even with the mistake he made.
But now the distance between Iamaki and Lepisto went to almost 12 seconds now. Now he'll probably gain a little bit going down the Conrad, thanks to the Kitty Engstrom draft right there, but that is not how he wanted that day to go for him, and he almost perfect right there until the end of that. So now he just needs to make sure no more mistakes and he's able to bring this home second, or you never know, heaven forbid something to happen to Antti Lepisto, he could try to stay in it like that. So going back to that Audi GTO lead, where looks like Michael Houghton, I gotta say that the right side of that Audi there for Houghton is just all banged up, but he is able to hang in there with Rob Olenek.
Well, Yeah, I mean, considering one of his teammates isn't here today and the other one got wrecked out early, he's the only one here from his team, so he's got the team riding on his shoulders. Even with that right side damage, he's going to have to fight his way up to the lead.
Is now they do have a Nissan coming through. That is the Nissan of John Keefe, who is inherited fourth position after the troubles of those in front of him, just off the podium. And it looks like he's going to be able to catch these guys in a relatively advantageous spot for everybody involved, as Michael Houghton doesn't gain too terribly much on Olenek. Now as they start to climb up the hill. And Olenek seems to really get up the hill very well.
Yeah, Olenek does a good job up the hill. It's down the hill where Michael Houghton gains his time, and then on the straights in the draft, but he just isn't able to get close enough. So Michael Houghton may be biding his time, but I think that he's going to struggle to pass Rob today.
There's another battle on the racetrack. That's Remigo de Pasca and Nico Arvalami, and they're going at it here for ninth in class. Ooh, Arvalami. I think Arvalami, another one of those moments where he didn't know exactly which direction the car was going to go. Grabbed the dirt just a little bit on the exit of hell, and able to hold it together, though. But I think that's going to make that battle evaporate for at least a little while. As long as Pascal doesn't run too wide through Griffin's there, which he did now heading into the cutting.
Yeah, Remigio de Pasqua stuck now as they go over the hill. He's going to be stuck behind Wolf Dietrich Altho. Actually, he's quite slow as they start heading up the hill. Looks like he caught the corners a little bit back poorly. He's choosing interesting lines and breaking interesting places. Now, here's the thing. Nico Avreliomi is one of those drivers who I saw do very well in practice, and him being back in 10th place, he's had issues on track, so he'll be able to get by DePasco, I believe, on the next straight.
We're hearing something happen. Pablo Suarez, our director, Amjad, thinks he found it here. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez. Look at that spin. Oh, man.
Tries to get it straightened out here. Hits the wall again, trying to make the turn, and I think he just decided, I've pressed my luck enough for one day. Just gets wide, tries to slide it through.
The lead in the GTO is side by side right now. Michael Houghton and Rob Olenek going up the hill, and they make contact. They're both wrecked.
And more drama in the Audis as somebody hit.
They went side by side
terrible.
Up the hill, and Michael Houghton, and they're just side by side right next to each other, and it just looks like Rob just came a little wide, got into Houghton, and they collided with each other. That's both of them out.
Yeah, he hit that curb just a little bit, and I think there was just a touch of netcode involved with that there too. But that Rob Olenek takes the tow. His day is done. I believe Houghton did as well.
Yeah.
So that means Ove Trangerede is going to inherit the lead, and I'm pretty sure he's got a big lead on Romero of about, look right there on your screen, about 7.8 seconds. Just incredible. So now that takes both the leads of the Nissans and the Audis pretty much out of contention. As long as Antilopisto and Ove Trangerede can just run mistake-free from here on out, they're going to run away with their class wins.
Yeah, one battle still going out on track is between Nico Avreliomi and Remigio de Pasqua. Nico's going to try and do something here? No, okay, he thinks better of it. That is one of the most dangerous places on this mountain to try and make a pass.
Yeah, now we're seeing a little bit of patience there. I think these guys have now seen what happens when you don't have a little bit of patience. Dr. Galindo is coming down pit road. Go ahead.
Remigio de Pasqua got a really bad exit off the corner, but Nico didn't get a much better one, and you're saying Aitor Sentes Guindo's in. That's interesting. He's got major left side damage.
Trying to see where that happened. Oh, he caught the tail end of that Philip Lake and Michael Houghton wreck, when he was driving by it, Netco decided he needed a little bit of damage, and it damaged his rear suspension.
It's really unfortunate. We're going back to the battle now between Remigio De Pasqua and Nico Arvelomi. And wow, bad corner for Remigio, but Nico doesn't seem to be able to get the power down out of the corners, Adam.
And that is key with these Audis. And you mentioned the four-wheel slide. Whenever you try to get on the power, it gets tight on you. And well, you got to have grip on all four wheels for that to happen. Is now Arto Iamake, the Nissan leader, is going to go ahead and try to clear these guys before they get to Griffins. And it looks like he'll be able to do it with ease. In fact, De Pasqua slowed down quite a bit to let him by before they got to Griffins, and that's going to allow Arvelomi to get right back to him.
Yeah, speaking of Antti Lepisto, his lead has grown to about 9 seconds now over Arto Iamaki ever since Iamaki's incident. And Arto's actually... I said it grew, but actually when Arto recovered, he was about 11 seconds behind, so it's actually shrunk by about 2.5 seconds. Ooh, good run from Nico here.
Yeah, he's right on his rear bumper. They do have another Nissan flying up behind him, trying to see who it is. It's Kitty Engstrom. Heading down the hill now into the dipper. Arvelomi is right there. If I'm Arvelomi, when Engstrom passes us, I'm going to try to move out, try to use a little bit of his draft. They go through forest.
Good exit.
Able to stay off each other.
That's a good exit from Nico. That's his first good exit he's had. But look at De Pasqua just pull away on the straight. Even with the draft, De Pasqua's trying to bake the draft. He gets in the draft with Kitty Engstrom, and watch him just disappear.
There was almost about 6-7 mile per hour difference between De Pasqua and Arvelomi. Arvelomi not able to do anything with him here through the chase. He's going to try, though. Maybe on the out. Oh, it switches around. Maybe going to try to go for the inside of Murray's. Nothing there. Hits the curb a little bit too much there in Murray's. That'll cost him a little bit of time.
It looks to me like Arvelomi has his brake bias a little bit far back for the Audi right now. He's really struggling to get that car pointed through the corner without losing rear end traction. So that's making him slow on corner exit because he can't get the car settled underneath him. And even with the four-wheel drive, it's not helping him on corner exit right now.
As Galindo has officially decided to call it a day, his damage was too much. Just the attrition rate here today has been high. Exactly what we'd expected going into this. We knew there'd be chaos, and there has been. Wrecks involving the front part of the field in both the Nissan and the GTOs. In fact, involving at times both classes leaders at the same time. But things have settled down now with Antti Lepisto now in the front of that Nissan field, with Ove Trangerade in the front of the Audi field. And now on your screen is the battle on the racetrack, pretty much the only spot under contention at the moment between De Pasqua and then Arvelomi. And now they've got Fabian Youngluth in the Nissan right behind him. He'll probably wait until they get past Forest and then make his charge as Arvelomi gets really close to De Pasqua right there.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a rinse and repeat of what happened last time. Arvelomi just does not have the speed on the straights right now. And with Fabian Youngluth coming through, Remigio De Pasqua is also going to get draft. So this is going to pretty much negate any sort of gain Arvelomi would have.
All right, let's run down through the top 5 in each class here real quick. Now that we're in the final couple of minutes of the race, this is likely how they're going to finish unless they run into problems. Antti Lepisto took this thing from the pole. Well, he's led just about the entire way with just a dominating performance for the most part. There was at times where we thought he might be caught by the likes of Fabian Gerber and Arto Iamaki, but turned out not to be. And speaking of Arto Iamaki, he is running right now in second, exactly where he started. But I think he's occupied every spot in the top 5 at some point in this race, except for the lead. He's running about 10 seconds behind now. Fabian Youngbluth has inherited the podium spot after the recent troubles. He started this thing in 6th. He's running about 33 seconds behind your leader right now. John Keefe, another car that has been able to take advantage of the others' troubles, he started this thing in 9th. Well, now he's up to 4th. And in 5th position, Roberto De Filippis in that 24 Nissan. He started today in 10th, and now he's up to 5th position. Go ahead and take the Audis there, Adam.
No problem. Ove Trangerade is leading this race from pole to first position, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Quite a bit has happened between now and then, and Ove Trangerade has inherited the lead due to the mistakes of his competitors ahead of him, and he's kept it clean. And the same can be said for the rest of our top 5. In second is Ernesto Romero, and we have not talked about him all day. And here at the hill, that is a good thing. Ernesto doing a great job. He started in P7 and is now up to P2. Reed Miller started P8 and is now up to P3 in the 3rd position. Another consistent drive from him, as we see most races from him, just consistency and strength. Same with Franco Scurry. He may not have the best overall pace, but what he does have is good racecraft and good race sense, and he can keep himself out of trouble. That puts him in P4. And then Hideki Koivisto in P5. He also having a very consistent race, about 13 seconds off the back of Franco Scurry. And just as a note, an interesting note, everybody except for Ove Trangerade that I just read off, the top 5 have gained 6 positions since the start, which means the 6 drivers ahead of them wrecked out.
All right, back to that Pasca Arvalami battle now is they're getting passed by John Keefe going to the inside, and that's when Arvalami decides he wants to go ahead and try to strike. Coming out of hell, he can't get the power down as well as the Pasca though, and so he's going to have to wait for another opportunity.
And I can also report that the gap between Antti Lepisto and Arto Iamaki has grown a bit. It was 8.5 seconds, now it's 9.1. So Arto's not gaining time on Antti, unfortunately, so that gap has stabilized.
All right, and Antti Lepisto coming down the Conrad right now, by the way. I think he is going to get to the start-finish line with enough time to turn another lap, but he will at the very least be taking the white. Yeah, he'll be taking the white flag here this time by for one more lap around Bathurst and Mount Panorama here today. In just dominating performance for him here. Great performance from Ove Trangerade to stay out of trouble despite not having the best start in the world. He kind of fell back like a rock there, Ove did, right at the beginning of this race, but he got it together as you were talking about, and then overall,
and with the 8-second gaps that we've been seeing between these two classes, Ove's within 3.5 seconds. This is going to be Ove's last lap as well, because Antti's going to pass him on this lap.
Yeah, in fact, our leaders will probably come across the line within just a couple of seconds of each other. So it's going to be it here for these guys. One more trip up the hill.
I just so tight. I mean, it just on board. I know
these
it's amazing,
it's just incredible. In fact, that car in front of Antti Lepisto is your Audi leader, Ove Trangerade. Going to get by him here, going through Skyline, and Ove is going to pull over, let him by. He's in no danger of losing the position, so might as well not force the issue. As Ove hangs, it's both of them go through the dipper now. Antti Lepisto, one more trip all the way down the hill. Is going to go through fours, hit the Conrad straight. 2 kilometers of just pure full loudness going down the Conrad straight. That's what Antti Lepisto has, and those Nissans, so much power behind them, such a difficult drive to get around, to get around this place. And the Audis are no cakewalk either, as we're looking at Ove Trangerade back there behind him going through the kink, and he's heading to the chase. Now Antti Lepisto through the chase, heading toward Hell Corner. gets through hell corner nice and clean onto the front straightaway, takes the checkered flag. Ove Trangerade right behind him. He'll take the checkered flag in the Audis. And that is going to be it for your winners of round 8 here in Kamel GT. But we still got one more battle on the racetrack here, Adam.
Yep, this is between Remigio de Pasqua and Nico Arvelomi. And Nico not able to get by. He's going to have to get by here in Forest Elbow. Otherwise, he doesn't have the pace to get off the corner. So he's going to have to make a late dive. Does he know it? He decides to stay behind. I'm not sure whether he has the pace to catch him down the Conrad straight. He's got a good exit, but let's see what happens.
Heading down the Conrad straight. Arvelomi does have the draft. See if he's able to do something with it. We got the speed differential there on your screen.
Oh boy.
And taking that defensive line before they get to the kink. He's got to be careful not to swing out too wide. He's going to think about trying to make a move on the outside. Cut back to the inside. He's going to be on the... Oh, man.
Oh, missed shift.
And missed it. And that's going to be it for that battle. They'd been fighting most of the second back half of this race. That's Kraytrick is the Nissan behind them, overcoming his struggles as they come across the finish line here today. All right, when we come back here in just a minute, we're going to take a look at your final running order, maybe talk to a few of the drivers. We'll be right back here on GSRC. We knew when Mount Panorama was on the schedule that it might be a little bit crazy, and it all proved to be true, especially once the classes started getting together and in some cases literally getting together, and it resulted in this finishing order. Antilipisto coming home in first in overall and first in class in those Nissan GTPs. Arto Iimaki behind him by about 9.5 seconds. Fabian Youngblood in third to round out that podium. John Keefe in fourth. Roberto De Filippis in fifth. Kitty Engstrom in sixth. Martin Kraytrick in seventh. Adam, go ahead and take us through the Audis.
All right, Ove Trangerade, after a crazy race for him, comes home with the win after mistakes from his competitors. The people who didn't have a crazy race: Ernesto Romero coming home in second, Reed Miller coming home in third place, Franco Scurry is going to come home in fourth with Hideki Koivisto in fifth in the Audis. Nenad Ivanovic comes home in a consistent sixth with Remigio de Pasqua finishing just ahead of Nico Arvelomi, who missed the shift on the last corner, missing the opportunity for that pass. Juan Ignacio Jorducha and Alexandro Nocero round out your field that did not have problems. Adam, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, and there's some big names back on this list that that did have problems as we continue through the running order. I mean, including the likes of Rob Olenek is back there, Michael Houghton back there, Fabian Gerber, and of course, we saw that big wreck with Philip Lake, who ends up finishing last on the field. So ultimately, not very good day for these guys that are on that list. All right, at this point, I don't see anybody right now waiting on an interview here for us here for today. And I can imagine after running 40 minutes around Bathurst, I'd probably be too tired too, and probably not really much in a talking mood. So we'll let those guys be here on the Kamel GT series and wrap up the show. And been a great one. Great working with you here today, Adam. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks today to the team, Adam, Amjad, Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, or you can check it out at social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And if you'd like to support the channel, go check out our merchandise store at GSRCStoreNV.com. The link is in the description below. Hey, these guys, next up is going to be Spa. Yeah, that's going to be another great one. That's going to be next Saturday, February the 8th at noon Eastern U.S. We also have upcoming races for other series that are listed on your screen. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.